Hello all. In an age of digital media, the messenger-audience relationship has been more interactive than ever. This can be largely said about the media in sports, as many fan bases aren't shy in voicing their own opinions on social media sites like Instagram, X, and Facebook. One form of media in sports that has been especially popular over the last couple of years is podcasts. And although the traditional form of podcasts consisted mainly of basic sports analysts like Bill Simmons and Dan Patrick, the trend of athlete-based podcasts have taken over the media by storm. Reasons for this may contribute to the fact that most of the athletes that the audience listens to has a pre-built trust or bond with the speaker from watching them play, giving the athlete instant credibility from the hosts, professional experience in their respective sports. Podcasts allow for speakers to voice their own opinions, giving their own personal beliefs, thoughts, and insights on relevant topics in the media and sports. The rise in popularity of podcasts really grew during the pandemic when most people were in quarantine, with 55% of Americans having listened to a podcast since 2017. It was also predicted by the Interactive Advertising Bureau that at this rate, ad revenue in the sports podcasting world will be upwards to $2 billion by 2023. What really started this trend of athletes speaking their mind was a project in 2014 by Hall of Fame baseball player Derek Jeter, who created a website and athlete-driven media company called the Players Tribune, which allowed for these athletes to connect with their fans. This site was an instant hit, as the audience was getting to know more about their idols they watched growing up, hearing stories and tips from the athletes sharing from their own perspective of when they were playing and after. Since then, there are all-star caliber players like Paul George, Jalen Brunson, and Kevin Durant, who have a podcast while being active players in the NBA. But the pioneer of athlete-driven podcasts stemmed from former NBA player J.J. Redick. In 2016, Redick was the first active player with a podcast, with his show The Vertical Podcast with J.J. Redick, really paving the path for all athlete-driven podcasts. Since then, Redick is now retired, but still hosts a weekly podcast show now titled The Old Man and the Three with J.J. Redick and Tommy Alter. The world of sports podcasting goes outside the NBA, as many MLB, NHL, and NFL players are also starting podcasts. Some notable names in these fields include Colby Armstrong, Ryan Whitney, and of course, Pat McAfee. McAfee started his sports analyst journeys with his podcast/show titled The Pat McAfee Show, eventually being bought out by ESPN for its popularity. It's now being televised as one of the highest paid commentators on the network, with this show even being televised on live television and YouTube. Reasons for the love that some audience members have for these shows can be reasons around nostalgia, the love for the organization, or like in McAfee's face, because of his personality. Although the sports commentary scene began in the mid-2010s, podcasts have been around since 2004. The reason podcasts took off since then include the effectiveness of visual communication with clear storytelling, interviewing, and discussion around a range of genres taking place throughout these conversations. But in the category of sports commentary, it really is these athletes behind the mic that really draw in the audience. That build credibility and personal experience is something that fans have relied heavily on when it comes to receiving these types of information. The rise in popularity of podcasts have been evident, as in 2022, there were 5 million different podcasts. So as more and more new athletes keep coming in the league that we enjoy watching, there should be many more years of future podcasters taking the scene after a long career. You may even see your favorite players joining podcasts just because they want to connect more with their fans. And I think that's a very good thing for the league.